So core PCE came out last Friday, and it came out a little bit better than predicted, like literally 0.01% better. But with that said, a lot of people are now forecasting that the Fed is going to increase prime by a quarter at the June 14th meeting. What do I think? Well, the people that I listen to have very good reason to believe that even though it's about 50-50 right now of people who are saying that the Fed's going to pivot, it might even be as high as 70% of people think the Fed's still going to increase rates. I don't think that they're going to move. I listen to the rate guy, I listen to Logan Matashami, I listen to a couple of different people for my information, and here's why we don't think that the Fed is going to pivot, or we don't think the Fed's going to increase rates. So basically, number one, the banking system. Since the collapse of SVB and First Republic and all the other little regional banks that are having deposit crisis right now, the banking system is not sound like they say it is. So that's reason number one. Number two, GDP. So GDP has shown that the last 2 quarters, the economy has contracted, which is a classic sign of a recession. That's somewhat of an arguable point, but it is still one of the things that we look for when we're looking at whether or not the country is in a recession. Number 3, inflation expectations are down overall. So generally speaking, the market is saying that inflation is coming down. Yes, it's coming down slower than we would like, slower than we even thought, but it is coming down and it is forecasted to continue to drop. Next, we might not be seeing it here as much in San Diego, but rents are actually falling across the country as a whole. Of course, there are some markets that are doing better than others, some markets that are still increasing, some that are flat, but overall, rents are going down. So that means that shelter number as part of the inflation is going to start dropping as well, which is also going to help our inflation drop overall. Last thing are real rates. There's not a lot of talk about real rates, but the real rate has gone down over the past. So that means that it's another recession indicator, another indicator that the economy is contracting. So basically, the thought is that Jerome Powell has not been talking about increasing, right? So we know that he uses his platform to kind of forecast what he sees coming. He has not mentioned anything about an additional rate hike, which he's been very transparent about in the past. So that leads me to believe that we're not going to have another rate increase, that we're going to pause. There is a possibility that we pause and then get another hike. It just depends on the information that comes out. But for June 14th, I don't think that they're going to increase prime again. I think it's going to stay flat. And quite frankly, if they were going to increase prime another quarter of a point, what would it matter at this point? We've already increased so much already that another quarter of a point isn't going to make a huge difference other than causing more pain for banks, causing more pain for consumers. So if you have quotes out right now or you're getting financing options, I encourage you to check in again and to keep checking in. In fact, the loans that we're doing right now, we're advising our clients not to rate lock right now because treasuries could pull back in the next few weeks and then they could realize some of those interest rate improvements. So thank you guys so much for all of your support, all of the comments. I get a ton of feedback off of the emails and I really, really appreciate you guys. So if you have another scenario, just send it over my way. We can run the numbers quickly, tell you what you can do. And again, we're following up with everybody on a weekly basis on our quotes because rates are changing rapidly up and down. It just depends on the week, depends on the information we're getting. It's super, super volatile right now. Have a great week, everyone, and I will see you next week.